around the beautiful water sports this evening. Stay with us right back. Yeah, welcome back. Steve Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, this weekend promises to be another exciting edition of the show as we'll take a look at the performance of the Super Eagles of Nigeria in the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. And joining us this weekend is a Nigerian sports veteran and a Guinness World Record holder, Mighty George. Good evening to you and welcome to the show.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
All right, George, I understand, of course, you're in South Africa, at the moment, and you saw that encounter between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Lesotho this weekend. What do you make of that performance? Were you impressed with the performance of the Super Eagles of Nigeria?
I mean, we can only have one assessment of that, and it will be connected to what happened in other centers as well. So I don't know if the world should be impressed. Well, I'm first of all not impressed that Benin Republic beat Rwanda. So that's one of the issues that we have. Makes it a must win and a must for situation. But did we get 3 points? Obviously, I'm impressed with that. That was the first duty, to get 3 points. Second duty was to rain goals on the city. That didn't happen. And at the end of the game, we almost conceded, which left all of us fuming at the stadium, including, and of course, I don't know if you've seen a clip that I posted of Victor Osimhen being visibly angry at Stanley Wabali. But at the press match, the post-match conference, the captain told us that he talked about it for 5 minutes and everybody's good now. And Wabali apologized. So yes, we didn't keep a clean sheet. That's not impressive. The ball was an away game, so anything can happen. It all depends on the final day. What a group this is, really. Group C is is quite crazy. I mean, going down the wire. For some other groups, obviously, yes, they're going to the wire as well. But as I said yesterday, it was still open for Rwanda. It was even open for Lesotho as well. I mean, if they could dream for a miracle, and that would have meant that all other teams don't win, and Lesotho went on to win their last two games, they would have qualified. So it's an interesting group, but we'll have to wait and see what happens on Tuesday. And the mission is simple: beat Benin by more than 3 goals, and we qualify. And hopefully, South Africa do not get maximum points. So it's still a very tricky affair. So I cannot talk about being impressed, so to say.
A lot of persons were not that pleased with the tactical input of Eric Chell in that game, especially at the second half. In the second half of that particular encounter, where he was bringing in more defenders than maybe forcing the attack. Knowing the fact that of course the Super Eagles of Nigeria need a lot of goals, to stand a chance, to qualify, from that particular group. We saw him bring the likes of Simi Ajayi, Saudi Sanisi, and the rest of them. What do you make of Eric Chell tactical inputs, in the game?
Well, the option would have been maybe take out a midfielder, bring in a striker, because you couldn't. We needed to make sure that we protect the back. So there's no way we would have taken out a defender. You know that, right? Because as much as 4 goals, we need to defend as well. So I'm thinking that his thought was simple. Let's keep the 2 goals that we've scored. Unfortunately, we still couldn't keep those 2 goals. That we scored. I don't know if it was Osimhen. Well, I think that also was tactical. And this may not make him, explaining for him or making excuses for him. But you know that most of our key players were on yellow cards and still it's in the final game. We've seen that already with Ademola Lookman. With Victor Osimhen as well. So we had to be very, very careful. And that's my thinking when he took out Victor Osimhen. We didn't have a lot of time to ask him questions and, the post-match conference. But, it is what it is. He got the 3 points. We conceded, and obviously that's a defensive error. So he wanted to tighten it up. When you start with 4 attackers, obviously they should be able to get you goals. That's like our most formidable attack. Who else was on the bench? Terry Murphy. He played every striker that is reputed to get the goals for us. He played Lookman. He played Osimhen. He played Tolu. He played Akko Adams came in later on. He played Moses Simon. And that was some great attack, at least for most parts of the game. This one should have been able to get us the goals. Thankfully, Osimhen played a very, very huge part. Providing the assist for Akko Adams. Eventually, we got a penalty. Who else to take with them? Captain William Troost-Ekong. I think that must have erased his scenes of the last game, scoring an own goal. It wasn't all disaster, really. So I want to cut him some slack. And I think the final judgment will come from what he does on Tuesday. We need goals. We need 3 unreplied goals. We're playing against our former coach, who knows the team so well, who knows the stadium so well. That's when I will pass the final judgment on Coach Eric Chell. What do you do when we need lots of goals? That's a good question, and we hope that it's answered very well. that time.
You talked about, some of the players, having yellow cards and they have to be careful in that particular one. Demola Lukman, of course, was given a yellow card, and courtesy of that one, he won't be able to play against Benin Republic. Will his absence, affect the team performance on Tuesday?
I don't think so. I mean, as much as he troubled and rattled the back line there, I don't think that he, with all due respect to him, really contributed much. I think he was very evident of the fact that he was on a yellow card. Our guys were just playing very carefully to avoid any sort of mishap. So I don't think he's going to be missed. His absence is an opportunity for someone else. Yeah. And my own problem was that, we didn't get it right. There was no right winger in that game. Excel just improvised. And he worked out well, thankfully. So, let's see how it goes, really. Let's see how it goes. But I don't think we're going to miss him that much. It was someone like Osimhen. Then, with all due respect to Lookman, it was Osimhen who was, his job was to get those goals in. I know he would have been a problem. You can see the contributions of Osimhen.
Yeah.
He came for many times. He was denied by the upright. And he provided an assist. I mean, that's like a quality assist. Everyone's talking about that for Adam goal. But you need to really talk about that pass from Victor Osimhen. It was sublime. And Ako was there at the right time. Oh, what a great time to score a debut goal. His pictures and faces on all the blogs and sites right now. It's just gone. But yeah, I think that the absence of it, I don't want to have some players step up.
Some Nigerians are not pleased with those errors, from Stanley Nwabali. A lot of persons are saying that Nwabali is not really living up to expectation, as it stands, that he needed competition, that the other goalkeepers should step up, the likes of Maduka Okoye and Omas of Basiki, that they should step up their game. That's Maduka, of course, I beg your pardon, Stanley Nwabali needed competition at this point in time. Do you agree?
I think yes, he does. At every point, every national team goalkeeper should have competition and worthy replacements. These sort of goalkeepers haven't even been tested, and that's quite risky. Because how do we just in case something happens to Nwabali, force majeure or something, injury, we really need to test his goalkeepers, and I think that happened. Maybe the Unity Cup in Russia, and I think Adeleye played or something. But we need to test his goalkeepers. And I have, again, these players are my friends. But an issue with, Adeleye, the goalkeeper, and his height. Yes, he's doing well with his club, but I don't think we've had a Nigerian national team goalkeepers that have that sort of height, not so tall. I mean, I'm tall, Austin, Vincent Inyama, the late Peter Rufai. So maybe Victor Bonibale, who was, of course, called Aboni Basket. They were expecting him to grow tall, but he was growing bigger, but he was a good goalkeeper. So height really, probably not a determinant factor, but in the usual Nigerian tradition, we don't have players the height or goalkeepers the height of, Adeleye. Amas maybe can step up, but I think that the right replacement has to be Maduka Okoye, who was not invited for this one. So he's not back into the regular frame after falling out of favor. And the thing that Nwabali should know is that, look, they can be singing your praises today. This Nwabali can save the economy, can save the relationship. But if you just fall out of favor, goalkeepers know they do shakara. because they have been sitting down and been warming. Their behind has been hot on the bench. Once they end and make one, two crucial saves, I want them to forget you.
True.
So it's quite sad what we're seeing from Stanley Nwabali. I think yes, he's the undisputed number one. That's getting to his head. Two, people have alleged, and this is not me saying this, alleged that there's something fishy going on. Because in the game against that he was playing, he wanted a red card. He was behaving like a madman. Excuse my French, but he was behaving like someone who was bonkers. And he had to be contested after that game. You know, you go there, and even in the game against South Africa in Bloemfontein, if there was VAR, somebody would have gotten a red card. He would have been sent off, punched that attacker. You don't do that. I don't know what's going on with him. He's doing it also in his club side, where he was fighting people. And he was dropped for one of the games. And people were wondering, oh, is it victimization? But when you go and start behaving like a crazy human being, and people don't know what's wrong with you, they will drop you now. Yeah, I just don't believe people that are doing this guy, but he's so loved. Can you imagine someone who is so loved now being the toss of town, not the talk of town, the toss of town? Yeah, people are insulting him on social media, and I hope he gets to read all those messages that people are dropping and all the comments, and so that he can tell them, I'm his friend, but what he did yesterday was unacceptable, and what he's been doing is wrong. Every shell needs to talk to him, bench him, but it's just right now. So if the allegations that he's trying to beat South Africa, for instance, it means it's even going to be worse fielding him in the final game. But again, if you don't field him and Hamas goes to concede, there'll be a problem.
Yeah.
So I feel for Coach Shell. He's in a dilemma right now, but that Nwabali needs to be taught a lesson, and it can only be taught by the coach. But unfortunately, it's kind of too late to do that right now. Hopefully, when we qualify ahead of the Nations Cup, if we qualify for the World Cup and go into the Nations Cup, Nwabali should be humble. Yeah. So we're not happy. I'm not happy about his recent actions.
Tuesday is going to be a crucial one when the Super Eagles, of course, lock ons against Benin Republic at the Gosla Pabri International Stadium. You were there. You're there, of course, in South Africa, and you saw that one. What areas do you expect Eric Chell to improve on, as well as the players heading down to that game against Benin Republic on Tuesday?
He was asked that question. I asked him that question post-match. He says he knows that he needs to score goals, so they're going to come all out attacking. But it might just be at the detriment of one department. I don't want any department. I need the defense to be intact. You know why? Because the Republic they want to get the goals, they want to score, they want to win. So, and a draw is just okay for them as well. So, the defense is going to be tight, watertight. They're also going to attack, and that means knowing the Rochelle very well. He's going to have a points man, with about 3 supporting strikers, and likely keep like 4 at the back. Where we can win this game from the midfield. And we need to give kudos to Alex Iwobi. He's come under a lot of criticism, but he bossed the midfield. Years ago. He did that. And not just him, though, with him, but Iwobi is a worker. I think we just need to find a standing position for him for the rest of his career. He's one of the oldest players in the team. He's in his 30s now, right? Yeah, he will be like 31 thereabout. So we need to um, ensure that we control that midfield again. All right. Probably play the same formation. The same formation will work. Get the attackers to do their job. Maybe put Tolu into the second half. Tolu has always been great coming from the bench, as we have known. He gets very hungry when he's on the bench. So I think that starting him wasn't that good. This time, let's try Terry Murphy, a partnership with Terry Murphy and Victor Osimhen. Keep Tolu on the bench so that we have options. But that defense must also be very tight because the Beninois are going to try to penetrate that. But while that is being done, let's make sure that the midfield is solid. That holding role played by Iwobi should be sacrosanct. So I think the same sport, same formation, but drop Tolu on the bench, put Terry Murphy. Young man might have some goals in him. I haven't seen him in a long while. I remember when he was brought on at the 2023 AFCON. He showed brilliance, scored, even took a decisive penalty. So yeah, that should be it. I'm okay with the formation, but just substitute Tolu for Terry Murphy because we need more bite in the attack, and then bring in Tolu later on. Yeah, and of course keep the captain. I must commend him. He had a lot of balls, you know, uh, agreeing to be included in the starting lineup of that game. I mean, it had to be so. For a man who was trying to redeem himself, and probably our most important, you know, player after Victor Osimhen. We all know that without no Victor Osimhen, no potent national team. We've seen all that's happened and matches that we have failed to win because Victor Osimhen was not there, or Victor Osimhen was pulled out, or something. So Victor Osimhen remains our most important player, right? But I think, in my opinion, the second most important player is William Troost-Ekong. I mean, who will have the guts to step up and score penalties like that?
Yeah, I
To
think
score a penalty.
he has
I mean,
always.
they just say penalty taker. It's not easy at all. Our best players, they have gone. It's just so unfortunate that some of our issues happened under his watch. The equalizer in Uyo against Zimbabwe, that shouldn't have happened. And I also blame the coach as well because he should be talking to his players every time. But who is the representative of the coach on the squad? It's a captain. So he should take the blame for Zimbabwe. He should take part of the blame for the match against South Africa. Thank God that they made up for that by equalizing. Even though it was VAR too, that goal for no from the touch because it came up that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ekong plays. Ekong stays there. It's very important. It's very important. And he's doing a very important job now of gingering the players. He's a true leader, really. And they listen to him. That's the thing. They listen to him. So we need that leadership. We're good to go. Let's hope that on the other side, South Africa don't cause problems. Yeah, so that's it.
Let's talk about the chances of Super Eagles, qualifying in that particular group. As it stands now, Benin leads the group with 17 points, with 5-goal difference. South Africa second with 15 points, 3-goal difference. Nigeria at 14, the third on the log with 14 points, with 3-goal difference, as it stands. So you take a look at it as it stands. Nigeria need to score about 2 to 3 goals, to stand a very good chance of qualifying, no matter what happened in the other games in that group. And that's been the question. Can the Super Eagles score 2 to 3 goals against Benin Republic in Uyo?
No, we have to matter what happens South African game. You know that, right? They're on 15 points if they get to win their game.
Yeah.
So even if it's 100 goals, South Africa is going, you know that. So the hope is still very much alive for South Africa. I was speaking with some of their fans who are still hopeful that they can get the win. It's the final game. It's the most important game for them in many years. They are going back to the World Cup for the first time in a while. So obviously they will want to win that game. And that's why it makes it quite tricky, really. Can the Super Eagles score 3 goals against Benin? Yes, we can. I mean, we beat them with 2 goals the other time. Away. We can beat them at home. With the right support, with the right tactics, we can score 1 more goal than we did the last time. So it's yes. Can they do it? Yes. But will they do it is a question that none of us knows, right? Really. They can score the goals. We can qualify. But my problem is.
All right, sir. George, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here with you.
Okay. All right, so taking a look at it, some Nigerians are still pointing fingers at the Nigerian Football Federation, not putting things right, talking about this World Cup qualifiers. Some are pointing fingers at the players, while some are pointing fingers, at the coach, especially, Eric Chell, the man at the moment. And some are saying if Super Eagles do not qualify, they should blame the NFF. Some are saying the player, some are saying the coach. I don't know. Do you have anybody to blame if the Super Eagles do not qualify for the World Cup this time around? Don't forget, they were not in Qatar 2022, and now they are at the verge of missing out once again.
So I should speak like Nigeria won't qualify, because we don't know that yet. But how did this happen? How did we get here, right? That's the question. That's how did we got here with a mix of confusion, panic, and lack of technical acumen. And this was the same set of players that got to the final of the AFCON. So, are they good? Are they together? Are they a team? I think they are. But after the AFCON, the confusion now was keep Pissarro or not. Once you have technical people, very sound technical people in the NFF, especially the NFF technical committee or the technical department, don't listen to what Nigerians are saying. Just go by technical. I keep asking the question, what is the role of Austin Guagon? Does he even have a say? He's the head of technical department. What does he do? So there's a technical committee and there's technical departments. How do they work together? Are they the ones collectively go to look for these coaches? Or is it the technical committee that is made up of politicians that will now tell Eguavon, oh, we have chosen this guy, work with him? Is Eguavon sound enough to know or to be the one in charge of supporting these coaches? Is he a coach or he's in the technical department? Are we choosing one role for him? He's been there for almost 10 years. What is really going on? So that's the confusion I'm saying, I'm referring to. So, Pissarro stay or go? They said he should go because, the man got to the final of the AFCON. He has an MON. His price will go up now. Because you're supposed
Definitely.
to asking you to top up something. You think you could all say use that like that. MON now.
Yeah.
say Nigerians are saying this. Nigerians say this one's football is not good. This one, blah, blah, blah. If you are technical people, then you people should just close your ears and do the right thing. I also think it was quite so now panic comes in. First to confusion and then panic. You panic, the qualifiers are coming up, World Cup qualifiers. Okay, you know, okay, well, how do we now do this thing now? Nigerians are saying, no, 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 no. Is that. Give these people a chance. Blah, blah, before you know, you wasted so much time in the first place. To replace the coach. How long did they use before they replaced coach? You tell. And at the end of the day, you now told us, about Finidi George. You know, appoint Finidi George just weeks before qualifiers. What's going on? So that happened, and yes, the mix of that is lack of technical acumen. The coaches that we brought weren't necessarily the right choices. Finidi was a result of giving local coaches a chance, but was he that sound? And did he have the managerial capacity for the senior national team? Yes. I get him before no people, but you know, great player, Champions League. One of Nigeria's, in fact, first 11 in Real Betis, big time player, respected in Europe as a football player. But as a coach, unfortunately, his CV could only just see him on his CV. And the youth coach of Real Betis, which is different. Managing the national team. Who told you that when Mourinho comes to coach a country that he'll be successful? It's not. It doesn't follow. So it wasn't the right choice. And at the point where they were even thinking of someone who had the experience before, which is Emmanuel Munike. Experience is very important. Why do you think when you go to apply for it, there you are, you must have such experience? Because you know you've had player manager encounters as a manager. This is an Amunike that has progressed through the ranks. Under 17, when they won it, he managed Osimhen. He's Osimhen's Oga. He gave Osimhen the chance to start up. And he's a guy that knows what it means also to manage national teams. Finidi didn't have that. You said because Finidi just worked with Pizarro. I was speaking in Spanish that Pizarro was speaking. That qualified him. Even the Pizarro too. You brought him after a very long time. After still thinking whether you should bring him. You employed him, you left him, brought Eguavon, take us to Nations Cup, and tried to qualify us. When Eguavon could not qualify us for World Cup and take us to Nations and crashed out at Nations Cup, you came back to Pizarro again and say, come and do it. The man now tried his best, you know, with the players too. They got to the final. The man is now asking, increase my money. You say you don't agree. You don't go and bring Finidi because you say Finidi has learned from him. And another person that is causing confusion here is Amadou Pini. Amadou Pini still has a say in all of this. He wants to advise him. He advises the NFL president. I know, let the NFL president not be ungrateful that this man helped me win the election. This man was my guy. You know? So, that's it. We need to get the right coaches. We need proper technocrats in the NFL technical committee or NFL technical department. That's where we got it all wrong, really. And then I think that no matter how stubborn or crazy players are, it's the managers, in fact, the manager and the administration that will have a way of engineering the best from them. We don't have the worst set of players, we have good players. But someone needs to speak sense into them. So as a result of the below par administration and technical ability of our, technical staff. The players too are relaxed. Nobody is ginger. Nobody is going to. There's no Moreno or Pep Guardiola to ginger people and tell you, say, guys, you have to fight. You need it. There's a different thing. Oh, guys, welcome. Okay, let's kick the ball. Oh, we need to do. Let's go and do this. Then coach will go tell you, say, look, I have not been known to lose. Unfortunately, this guy has been known to lose. He crashed out of the quarterfinals. So I don't know what motivation he wants to tell. He hasn't won anything in his career. That's the problem. So what are you going to tell these boys? Well, get someone that has won something, that speaks sense into them. And the only people that will do that is the NFL. So everybody carries the blame. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, for that one, Judge. And of course, it's been an impressive, time, getting to hear you talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And at this point, of course, we understand you actually put up a new record. Before we let you go, let's just know how you are enjoying this one. I think you had the longest radio talk show for about, I think, 109 hours or so. How has it been so far with this latest achievement for you?
Yeah, I mean, we thank God. People are the ones that are supposed to celebrate people like us now, not in the field. Yeah.
We're trying our best.
Only the one that cook right, because not too like food. Now that one, gala. We waited. Well, shout out to you, the Basi, of course. She's my sister from Akwa Ibom. And indirectly, I think she's also an inspiration to some of us as well. But I did mine to mark a milestone on radio, which is 20 years. Been 20 years since I first walked into a radio station in 2005 in Abuja. It was called Crowder Radio. So I just thought about something spectacular to do to celebrate this, and the world record. And today we have it, thankfully. By the grace of God, I am an inclusive book of amazing people. Right, so they call us officially amazing. You know what that means. As a Guinness World Record holder, you have, probably like a passport to the world. And so I could travel around the world with my newfound pedigree. And I give all thanks to God and my team and my family as well. It wasn't easy. Talking for 5 hours, that's 5 days and 4 nights. I didn't sleep. You guys, if you recognize the worth of what I've done, I mean, we should be celebrating people like me more. Because what I did was not just keep talking. I mean, the Guinness World Records are very thorough people. That's why they don't just give anybody their.
Okay.
They had to dig deep into why I was doing this. They had to even listen if it made sense. It's not like this guy was blabbing more than 5 hours. We delved into different departments, different sectors, politics, agriculture, business, health, ICT. We're talking about all of that. Entertainment, music. We had artists who came on to sing, a cappellas and do things like that. So it was a great time out, and I'm certain, of course, with the grace of God, that's why Guinness decided to give it to me. I'm aware that other people tried to do it.
Yeah.
I wish them, but to talk for 105 hours for 5 days. We've been so.
Of course.
Yeah, so go and say you want to break George's record, just think about it. But hey, everybody's welcome to try whatever they can. I mean, if George can do it, you can do it. But I am delighted that officially the first African broadcaster in the Guinness Book of Records, and that means first Nigerian, and Akwa Ibomite to get into the Guinness Book of Records via broadcasting. We have, of course, the Basi, who did that for cooking. We have Abasi Freke Eden, who did it for the longest recording marathon. So we're all Guinness World Record holders. And yeah, I'm happy we did it. And to God be the glory. What a rush.
Oh, what a big time rush. Thank you very much for joining us, George. We really, really do appreciate your time. Looking forward, to see you, in New York.
Yeah, Siabonga. I'm going to be there live in New York. I'm leaving in the next 48 hours. I should be there in time. Of course, I'm also the official stadium announcer for the Super Eagles, so can't miss that or anything. And I'm calling on everyone, the whole of Nigeria, please, let's give these guys a chance. There's still ability that Nigeria will qualify. Imagine, we're monitoring the games in other places, and it was goalless while Nigeria was leading 2-0.
Yeah.
Before Ben just went to score that goal. So this is football. Anything can happen. Never say never. I remember trying to qualify for the 2002 World Cup as well. If you listen to Ulise's story, he will tell you that we were 5 points behind Liberia with 2 matches to go. 5 points with 2 matches to go. So imagine what happened. So it's very possible now. We're 3 points behind the Republic. Well, it's one goal shot, but we can still do it. See you guys in New York, and by the grace of God, if God wills it, we'll qualify. If not, let's just say that, the boys put in a good fight. All right? They put in a good fight. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Mighty George. Really do, appreciate your time with us on the show. All right, we'll take a break now, but we'll return, of course. We'll bring you all the interesting issues revolving around the beautiful world of sports this weekend. Stay with us, we'll be right back.